Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to start off, man, by reminding everybody, man, Ramadan is 3 months and like a week, something like that away. And, inshallah, man, everybody start to prepare for Ramadan. But, I talked to 4 Muslims today, right? A couple of them that I haven't spoke to in a while. A couple of years for some of them. And each conversation, man, was impactful, right? And I want to just say to the people, man, if you able to hold on to your Islam, like not be Muslim, like really actually able to hold on to your Deen and be a practicing Muslim in totality, thank Allah Azza wa Jal. Thank Allah Azza wa Jal. Because that is truly a blessing in today's time. And I mean, just these few conversations, man, I thought of, a Quran ayat or a hadith or something always go through my mind. And I just thought about that hadith about what the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. A day is going to come where holding on to your Deen, it's going to be like holding on to hot embers, like a hot charcoal, right? And when I came home and got off work, because I've been playing these conversations through my head, and I'm talking about it's starting from me waking up. I wake up to a voicemail, Muslim want me to call him. That's conversation number 1. So anyway, just throughout the whole day, and just all these conversations, it seemed like they connect, right? So when I come home and I just start going through the books of hadiths and tafsir, and I seen this hadith, man, where the Rasul was referring to how Islam started off as something strange, and in the end times it's going to go back to being strange, right? So, and inshallah, man, people can learn from this, man. I spoke about this before, like a year ago, as far as on my behalf. It's feeling like sometimes I feel like I have survivor's remorse. And, I had conversations about what this community, a small group of us, used to look like, right? With the sisters was all friends. The brothers was all friends. The children in the same age group was really around each other. Getting together, trying to study. Even the sisters, getting books, doing little reports, It was a decent little thing. But this was like, I don't know, 2012, 13 maybe. And just to see in 2025, I I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not, everybody had their ups and downs with their iman, but from the conversation I had with a couple of them, as for the ones who haven't completely left Islam, nobody on their deen. Like, to see 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, where Muslims was on a path to being a particular type of Muslim and towards particular type of success in Islam. And then just certain decisions was being made, and people just, for whatever reasons, just kind of fell off the path, man. You know? And then, like people who just remained steadfast and kept reading, kept studying. Ain't nobody perfect, but it's just sad, man, and it kind of impacted me. And they made a statement saying, because we were discussing those times, and they were saying how then they was praying Tarawih for Ramadan every night, 20 rakats. They was always in the masjid praying, right? And they was doing all this fasting. And I remember it, because they brought it up. And it was like back then, because they didn't have no job, they couldn't find a job, they was in a bad situation. And back then, they said to me, I'm doing all this praying and fasting for nothing. Like, Allah ain't doing nothing for me. Okay? So, I hadn't seen them for a while. But then when I did see them again, they had some new vehicles, real nice house, new clothes, money, credit, right? But they was talking to me about how hard it was for them to stay on their deen. They quit fasting. Now see, all this is deen related. And wallahi, this is a true story. They quit fasting. They quit praying. But they had all of this stuff. And when we was talking back then, and they was like, how hard it is for them to fast because they work and they can't pray because of work. But when they didn't have anything, so this is kind of our conversation today. When they didn't have anything, they was doing all this praying and fasting, and Allah didn't give them nothing. Now they feel like they have everything, but they don't pray, they don't fast, they don't do anything. So it kind of make them question their Islam. Like, do you really need to do all that praying? Do you really need to do all that fasting? And like I said, man, just listening to the mindset and thinking of how the community, how we used to be, and then to see and to talk to and just watch everybody's journey, including my own. To see how everybody is 10, 15, 13 years later, it don't make sense. It don't make any sense. But I said to him, when you was doing all that praying back then, what was you praying for? You was praying for a job. You was praying for a nice home for your family. You was praying to be able to, have money and do all this stuff and buy nice, reliable cars and stuff, right? He was like, yeah. I said, now that Allah has answered that prayer for you, you sitting up here talking about Allah didn't do nothing for you. The prayers you made then, it looks like Allah answered them now. But now that you got all that, you give your Deen up. Because you don't feel like all that Deening, you don't feel like this is an answer to your prayer. But there's a lot of riba involved. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things that shouldn't be going on. There's a relationship that shouldn't be happening. Like I say, it's a different thing to fall into things, but to live your life that way, it's unfortunate. But that's really what their mindset has become. If they find it difficult to read the Quran, I'm like, man, when the last time you even picked your Quran up and really just spent some time reading it? Said he can't even get into it. I pick it up and read it, and I don't even be feeling it. It's just a dangerous time, man. It's a dangerous time. And, man, Shaitan, man, is really playing with the Muslims, man. Now that you got everything that you prayed for, your mindset is Allah didn't do nothing for you. Because you didn't get it when you prayed for it. So then you stop doing everything. And like I said, when he said to me, I'm doing all this praying and fasting for nothing. And then you give it up. Hey man, Shaitan, man. But, like I say, a lot of people from these particular groups, I'm not judging them, wallahi, I'm not. Because it's really all sad to me to see the potential that we all had and what we could have done and what we could have became as a community, and including our children. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Then another brother, alhamdulillah, I'm going to be careful the way I speak about his situation, but, he's finally in a position to do something good, at least the best that he can within the community that he's in. And when you striving and putting yourself in position to help your own people, and then soon as you get ready to achieve that goal, the people that you doing it for turn on you. As much as us as African Americans, as we need, this is not speaking from a point of racism or nothing like that, but we really need to see our own people that's qualified on that minbar. Because just like with society, nobody is as confused and mixed up and bamboozled and baffled as left behind as we are in this ummah. We don't care about us, and don't nobody else. They care that we Muslim, but some people look at us as an embarrassment to the ummah. We make up our own religion. We downplay and disregard other people who trying to practice. because they not us and talk ourselves up like we the best when we really the worst. So to see somebody who finally getting ready to get into that position to receive backlash from the community that they want to save. And that's why when I was speaking about the particular brother, I want to clarify something I said in my video. There's nothing wrong with wanting to try to save the community. But when it's a community, for one, they don't like you. And it don't have nothing to do with you feeling like you know some Deen. They just don't like you as a person. They don't like you any further than what they can get you to do for them. And this is a reality. But you want to be liked by them. You want to be received. You want to look like something in the community. So you're going to chase that. You're going to chase their approval. You chasing a pat on the back. You chasing them being proud of you to neglect your whole family. Now, your whole family off the Deen. Now, it's some people who taught their children. Kids read the Quran. Kids knew how to recite, knew how to fast, was really Deening, following Ramadan, fasting for Ramadan as little kids, kindergarten. But then they have a Muslim parent, a Muslim mother, or a non-Muslim mother who take them off the Deen. These is two different scenarios. When the kids know the Deen, but then they have another parent that confused them. As opposed to, you're going to neglect them, you're going to neglect your whole family because you want all these other people to be approved of you and you never accomplished it. These type of things, man, they just tricks of the shaitan. And like I say, just looking back at it as a scenario, but at the same time, everybody came up. Everybody got these fabulous looking lives, and except for me. And I'll be the first to admit it. I say it all the time. Wallahi, I've been saying it for years. I'm the only one who ain't never came up. I spent all my time in classrooms, buying books, paying for classes, studying, traveling, spending a lot of time alone. Chasing this Deen, chasing Jannah. I'm not perfect. I still have flaws, but just to see a Muslim man at that particular point in time who was praying 20 rakats of Taraweeh, trying to pray all their prayers in the masjid, fasting inside Ramadan and outside of Ramadan, to right now, they can't even say, and this is from their own admission, they can't even pray one time a day, every single day, for 30 days. They can't even get one prayer in per day for 30 days. And that's not like being late and making them up, falling asleep and missed it and wake up and make it up. Not even including that. 30 days straight, they can't pray one time every single day. Ain't fast for Ramadan. If I'm not mistaken, they said they haven't fasted for 9 years for Ramadan. But they able-bodied. And can't pray because of work. Because they be at work. They can't fast because it's too hot at work. and ain't fast in 8-9 years. Same with the prayer. I ain't being consistent with Salat in 8-9 years. You know, that's scary, man. So, and then, you know, to see a brother, man, who really, and maybe it'll help them understand me a little better, because they be wanting me to come out and do this, and let's do this, and let's do that. And now they probably gonna get a chance to see what I'm talking about, man. You can't save nobody that don't want to be saved, man. Especially, you know, like me. In my opinion, I need more help than they do. I need to go seek some education and some knowledge to get my head right before I be running around calling myself trying to give anybody something. You know, especially some people who ain't gonna do nothing but, you know, and I'm just gonna keep it 100. Some fossics, especially for some fossics. You know, but, you know, may Allah make it easy for the brother, man, and may Allah bring some of these people back, you know, to the Deen. And then I spoke to a sister, right? I ain't talked to this sister, man, in 4 or 5 years. And they was talking to me about a marriage, how their marriage just ended, and the role that they played in it, you know, and just to see what happened with their Deen, you know. But they put it off on the guy, you know. He didn't pray, so she stopped praying. He didn't fast, so she stopped fasting. He didn't study, so she stopped studying. And, you know, dude, you know, just to speak on, you know, and I told her I was going to share a story, right? Like I said, 4 Muslims, 2 sisters and 2 brothers I talked to today. One sister just really listened to me, you know what I'm saying, talk about, you know, certain things I was seeing. But the sister was, and hopefully some sisters can learn from this. So the sister was like, her and her brother had got together, you know, and as they was bringing their worlds together, she was viewing it like this, you know, like she was going through something, and it was troubling. And, you know, like, she was just saying how I want to be careful with my words, because I don't want to trigger anybody or anybody feel like, because you never know what anybody else is going through. I'm just gonna say what they was saying. So they was like, you know, as they was moving in and they transitioning and bringing their world together, she looked at it as like she was losing. This is her words. I was looking at it like I was losing out. And, oh, I could have did this, I should do this. And her mind was always going through what she could have did. But then she said as things started going on, she started realizing, I'm complaining and looking at it a certain type of way, but the space he's giving me is space that he's losing. So he's also losing out. You know what I'm saying? He sharing what he has with me. You know what I'm saying? She just went in and looked at it and said, in reality, I really wasn't making his life any easier. He was making my life easier. But she didn't look at it like that till it was too late. You know, she told me, man, I looked at it like the stuff he was doing for me, you supposed to do it. Because I'm a woman and because I'm a Muslim and it's part of your deen. So she didn't appreciate it. You know, she was like, you know, the brother made my life easier. And the only thing that I was focused on was it could have been better or it should have been more. You know, and then she said like, this is really her words, and I'm only saying that so nobody will feel triggered. She said, whenever I would leave, if he was home, he would stand in the window and watch me leave. If he knew I was coming home, he would come be in the window to make sure I got in the house. But when he left, I didn't look out the window to see if he was going to be straight. If he was coming home, like if he knew I was coming home, I called him on my way home, this and that. This is true story. He'd be like, all right, he'll be there to open the door for her. But when he was coming home, she wasn't opening no door for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if something finna happen outside where she can't see it, you know, he could have slipped and fell. And she could have been there to, you know, he could have slipped and fell and knocked himself out and needed an ambulance. If she'd been looking out the window, she could have seen that. But she said she was just viewing it like, I'm the woman. You know, it's all about me. You know, he's standing in the window like that because I got him on lock. Not he doing that because he loved me. But then she was like, then if something was going on, if he was busy and he didn't stand in the window and watch her leave, she felt the way about it. Although she never done it for him. These is her words. So, you know, she just going through little things like that, man, and realizing, and then, you know, like if the marriage started feeling a little strange, she never looked, she would go through her head like, dang, did I do something wrong? But she wouldn't admit to herself what she did. She would just refocus it on him. Oh, he just acting funny. Oh, he just got little ways. He jealous because I spoke to somebody. He jealous because somebody said something to me at the store. He's jealous of this and that, my baby daddy and all this weird stuff. But that wasn't the case. And you know, like I said, you know, I'm speaking on this, man, because it was real impactful. And I hope some people learn from it. You know what I'm saying? That sister told me in 5 years, she never fixed that man a plate. Now that is a big deal, but she said if they was ordering some food, like if they ordered some pizza or anything they did, or if he cooked, he'd hand her a plate, he'd get her drinks. Sometimes he'd put the food on her plate for her. She said she never fixed that man a plate, not one time. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Sister told me she never even got up and went and got him a drink of water. Not like it has to, but she said, you know, like, but if he didn't go, like, if he was getting up and, you know, a time he didn't go get her drink, she'd be like, what, I gotta go get my own drink? Like, where you ain't gonna bring my drink in here? What I gotta do, ask you for a drink? But she never got him a drink ever. And, you know, kind of ruined her own marriage, man. So I'm like, it's just unfortunate, man. But like I say, for as long as I've been knowing them and seeing how they was and where they are today, it's just like, dang, man, if people would have had just stuck to the script, man. It's like Shaitan just tricked everybody off what they were supposed to be on, man. You know? And now, the sad thing is, the reason why they even contacted me, because they want me to help them get the brother back. They want me to help them get the brother back. I contacted them. But, you know, there's two sides to every story. And, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that, man. So, like I say, man, if y'all able to hold on to y'all Deen, man, you know, thank Allah, man. Thank Allah. Like, seriously, man, because, you know, it just made me think, you know, the hadith, man, where it say, you can go to bed a believer and wake up a disbeliever. You can wake up a believer and go to bed a disbeliever. Or, you know, just wording it where it's absorbed a little better. You can go to sleep on your Deen and wake up off of it and might never get it back. You could wake up on your Deen and go to sleep off your Deen and never get it back. You know? And just listening to some people, man, who trying to get it back, man. And, you know, just listening to that sister, man, you know, and even I said to them, the stuff you telling me, like, hey, have you ever tried to have this conversation with him? They said they couldn't do it. I couldn't have these type of conversations with him. Their pride. I didn't want him to know he had me like that. You know? Just unfortunate, man. Like, she even told me one time, it was something he asked her, it was something that he did, he regularly did for her, and he didn't do it, but he asked her, and she said she told her brother he wants some princess treatment. What, you want some princess treatment? But just being out of line. You know what I'm saying? Just being out of line. Just like, you know, no, he don't need nobody to stand in the window and watch him leave for work, or, you know, he finna come home and then you right there in the same, you in the living room where the door is and you just open the door up for him. Like, no, he don't need it, just like you don't need it. But, you know, for her to do that for him, that's giving him princess treatment. You know, subhanallah, Deen, man, it's unfortunate, man. And when I talk to the brother, man, it just don't seem like it's gonna happen for him, man. It just don't seem like it's gonna happen for him, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, subhanallah, man. But, you know, like I said, man, I'm just having a moment, man, reflecting, man. You know, us Muslims, man, I just think, man, the Muslims, man, we just need to figure out a way to start all over, man. like, man, I just wish all the Muslims in America, not everybody, man, but, man, the Muslims just need to start all over, man. Like, really, man. You know, just listening to, and, you know, I don't even want to say this part. He probably gonna get salty at me because I said something, but I gotta say something, man, just to hear a person whose house is next door to the masjid getting raided. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be quiet, man, but, you know, like, you live next door to the masjid, but instead of being on your Deen, man, the way you supposed to. You live right next door to the masjid and your house getting raided. Like, man, subhanAllah, man. Survivor's remorse, man. And these is people who've been around, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. And just to see, just keeping it 100, man, Islamically, man, like, nobody is what they used to be, man. Like, to hear a brother say, man, I to go from praying in a masjid, praying 20 rakats for Taraweeh every night, fasting, just to see that, man, and then they hear the same brother be like, he ain't fasting 9 years, ain't prayed consistently in 9 years, man, but got all this dunya, and said Allah when Allah didn't give him nothing. When I was doing all that praying, I ain't have nothing. Now I don't pray and fast, I got everything. Like, subhanAllah, man. And we're a month away from 2026. And this isn't young Muslims, man. Everybody above 40. This particular brother, man, he pushing 60, man. Man, Allah protect us from that, man, and allow us to escape the snares of shaitan, man. And it just make me reflect, man. If I would have kept chasing dunya, man, chasing the world, like, where would I be? I ain't perfect, man. You know what I'm saying, but I still got some deen, man. Alhamdulillah. Whether Allah accept it or not, I don't know. I might be late for a prayer. Do the work. I might have to combine a prayer or something. But I make them. I make them. You know what I'm saying? I'm studying every day. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm looking at something for only 5 minutes, man. Some weekends I don't, but I at least listen to something. But like, man, not to really listen to nothing, nothing, man. Just gone, man. Seeing individuals, man, who traveling, they on the road and they traveling, man, and then they going to masjids, taking pictures outside, then go in and do 2 rakats, then go listen to a lecture in there, then go pray with the brothers. Masjid open. Go overseas and be traveling, man, and see all these beautiful masjids and go in there and take pictures and don't even pray in there. Don't put $1 in the box, nothing. But man, man, Allah protect us, man. How Deep said he was gonna be this way, man. And it's just unfortunate, man, And to see, man, possibly, man, what this brother possibly about to have to go through, I ain't even worried about him being prepared for backlash. You need to be prepared to know what you're talking about, because that's when you got to worry about Allah. The brother need to be prepared to know what he's talking about, man. More than anything. No matter who gonna hate, no matter who gonna feel away, no matter who gonna twist their face up because he talking and he doing a class or whatever, or don't want to show up, you ain't got to worry about none of that. Your main concern is you need to know what you gonna be talking about, brother. Because that's when you got to worry about Allah. That's when your issues gonna come in. You know. You know, but alhamdulillah, man. So man, y'all pardon my little vent, man, but if you able to hold on to your deen, man, and you able to be selfless as a Muslim, man, and you know you don't really have like a life full of fitna, man, and you need to thank Allah, man, because wallahi, them is blessings from Allah, man. The Rasul talked about these type of days coming. And you should just see like some of the companions, man, when you get into the Salaf and the Hadiths and the Quran ayahs to go with this, man, and when the Rasul was explaining to them that these type of days was gonna come, it didn't even sound right to them. They was like, you know, like huh? Like why are we gonna be that way? Like, is it only because it's only gonna be a few Muslims? Like why would the Muslims be like that? You know, they really was asking the Rasul, like, man, like it didn't sound right to them. But you know, and he was just saying it in a way, just in case you see it this day, if you still alive when this happened. Because the Rasul just knew it was going to happen, but he don't know the hour. He just giving the warnings the way Allah tell him to. You know, it's you know, man, I just pray for the Muslims, man. And I'm always speaking to myself first, man. I just wish we could start all over, man. You know, we just can't turn back the hands of time, man, because and like me, you know, I'm gonna put up and say, you know, I have more faults than anybody. I'm more in the wrong than anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just alhamdulillah. Allah, Daki. You know, Allah allowed me to get back on track, or you know, I had my stumbles, but for Allah to allow me to not really just fall down like that, and you know, I'm really being generous in my conversation, man. Like, I'm being extremely generous in my conversation, man. It's almost tearful, man. It's almost tearful. You know, to see a person, man, like, I'm telling you, man, just to be around a Muslim and to see them prepare to do khutbahs, to get up on a minbar, you know, deliver a khutbah every 2 weeks, you know, and to try to be diligent. To see them doing that 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, and then to see them, you know, although that didn't last a year, that only lasted, you know, a couple of months, but just to see them trying to go through that process, and to see where they are today, you know, they got some dunya, yeah, but to see where their deen is today, it's almost tearful, man. It's almost tearful to where the Islam is actually questionable. You know, it's tearful, man. And you know, some of y'all may have never seen that, and like, you know, not saying what's in anybody's heart, not judging them, because it can happen to anybody, man. Allah can take anybody Islam away from them. But to see somebody on the minbar giving khutbahs, whether they should have been the one up there or not, They was up there giving some effort, man, and then just to see everything just pretty much gone, man. Mannerism, everything. You know. Man, old people mentalic, man. And you know, just to see, you know, to hear a sister, man, that, you know, admit these type of things. Because, you know, they admit it because they want me to help them get it back, but, you know, listening to too much internet, man, too much bad companionship. You know, opening up the door for your husband is princess treatment. You know, it reminds me of this movie, and I'm going to close on this, man, because I ain't even want to talk about this. I ain't even want to talk about it that long, but it's been bothering me, man. You know, alhamdulillah, man. Shout out to the people who fasting today, man. May Allah accept your fast, man, you know. I just finished, you know, a little suhoor. But it's this movie, man, called A Bronx Tale. And, they, you know, listening to them, it made me think of the movie. In Bronx Tales, the dude told, you know, his name was like Calogero or something. He was Italian, but he had a black girl. And the man was trying to tell him how to know if she was a keeper or not. So he said, when you go to pick her up, you get out the car, you go open up her door for her, right? You go open up the door for her, let her in the car, and close the door. He said, now, when you go to walk around back to the driver's side to get ready to get in the car, he said, if she leans over and open up that door for you, then she's a keeper. You know what I'm saying? Then she's a keeper. And it made me think of that movie. And this is a very old movie. And then to hear a sister, a Muslim sister, talking about another Muslim that she's married to that actually made her life easier. Say this stuff was princess treatment. Even though he never asked for it. Just like she didn't. But she going through her head. No, that's princess treatment. I like, man, subhanAllah, man. You know, like I even had, you know, I even had to say to her, like, even if the brother had a sandwich and you felt like this all he got at the time, and you felt like he should have gave you a sandwich, but he gave you half of his sandwich. He gave you half of what he got. That mean a lot. Because you looking at what you got as opposed to what he gave up. He had a whole sandwich. You didn't. He could have ate his whole sandwich, but he gave you half of it. You don't even consider what he gave up to give you. Your mindset is you should have had more or better. He should have did more or better. As a Muslim, you know, man, that's, and now that the marriage over, playing tough. Well, I ain't gonna say playing tough because I say that about everybody, but you know, now she probably ain't gonna get it back, man. And just saying, you know, like when things would be going on and be in a certain way, I'm like, dang, well, what I do? But then it said, okay, instead I did this, I did that. She shifted right back on him. But now it's over with. She can't keep lying to herself now. And being honest with me ain't gonna do no good. You could have saved it. But anyway, man, that's princess treatment. You know, subhanAllah, man. Subhanallah, man. Amen. Don't take y'all Islam for granted, man. Anybody who made it this far through this rant, wallahi, man, try your best not to take your Islam for granted, man, because Allah take it away from you. I was listening to an imam the other day, like maybe a week or two ago, and wallahi, he wasn't really spazzing, but he was like, man, Muslims is not praying. They not praying, man. He was like, man, the Muslims done abandoned prayer. Or they praying to be seen. And, he's speaking in his area or other people he listening, he talked to, listening to the brother who gave the khutbah at UMM. And he was saying how the Muslims need to start learning their religion. He an African brother. And he was saying how people think because they come to Jumar like it's enough. He's like, man, Jumar is not enough. He said, because people coming to Jumar, like on some ritual stuff, but you in there thinking about a sandwich because you might be on your lunch break. But when it's time for the classes, the masjid got numerous classes, but nobody show up. They're not showing up to learn because they think the little bit that they going to get from Jumar is fine, but they not even coming to Jumar to really learn anything. They just fulfilling a ritual. And that's why, with this brother, man, even the other brother who asked me for some advice on how to deal with the Muslims that he got to deal with, and then this other brother who finna do some talking. Don't let it just be don't just be fulfilling a ritual, man. Like some of them foreigners. They'll throw anybody up there to fulfill a ritual. Don't just be a ritual fulfiller, man. Don't just be a ritual fulfiller, man, if you can. Really, reach some people, man. Anyway, man, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu, man. May Allah be with us all. And may Allah guide us all, man. And because subhanallah, Deen, man. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh.